Good evening, Lake Orion. Hope you're all staying warm on this chilly night. My name's Ian Witherspoon, and I'm between Taorminas.
Cocoa Crisp. That's what Cocoa Crisp is.
Okay. Hey, we're back. We're on TV. How you doing?
Rough day at Oakland.
Rough day at Oakland?
Yep.
Usually is.
Hate that place.
Hate that place?
Yep.
You ready to be done there?
Oh,
Yep.
Sammy.
Yep.
Ready to be graduated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. How you doing, bud?
Good. I got done working for the week. Doing pretty good.
No kids. Peace and quiet.
Yeah, it was interesting that there was no kids for the week. That they all had no school. Now, it's just it felt very
They
quiet.
will have it Thursday and Friday.
You
We
think
will
so?
see.
I think so.
Predicting
We shall
that?
see.
All right. Well,
They are due.
they are due.
Yes.
They should just get the rest of the month off.
No.
No,
Why not?
they don't deserve that.
They work hard.
No, they do not.
They work hard. It's
No, they
cold
do
out.
not.
Yeah, they don't want to
Give
go out
me
in the
a
cold.
break.
Come on.
They
have it
need
a lot
It's
tougher than
time
we
to
did.
make up for lost time.
They have it a lot
You
tougher
gotta
than we
be
ever
kidding
did.
me. No.
Yeah.
They need to make up for lost time, Spoon.
What?
It's time to make up for lost time. Lake Orion students, don't complain. Go to school, get your education. It's time to make up for lost time.
Oh, this is a sports talk show, not a school closing authority. That's Fox 2 News.
Yeah, it is.
Do you want to talk sports? Is there really much going on right now? It's kind of like the dead period.
You got
You got-
BCF.
You got playoff football. You got college football. Good times. Bowl season.
BCS.
Sure. The BCS. Is that what we're going to talk about first?
Yeah, let's talk about BCS.
You want to talk about the BCS?
the
Well, it
death of the
doesn't
BCS.
doesn't exist. It's gone.
It's dang, the 14 playoff now.
That's interesting, isn't it? Kind of like this table.
well, everything going right now. Shocked the way that the SEC lost. Auburn got beat by Florida State.
Yay.
Jameis Winston, first quarterback in a while to win the Heisman as a freshman and a national championship as a freshman. This guy is proven to be a winner, even though
Yeah,
he's
but
got to
he's-
deal with rape allegations.
Yeah. Don't get that.
And,
Allegations.
yeah, but do you remember Cam Newton back in 2011 when Auburn won the national championship that he had to
Yeah.
deal with Cecil Newton and how much that affected him, especially when he had to go to Tuscaloosa and play Alabama. I remember how that one went.
Well, I mean, that was probably one of the worst defensively effort games by both sides, especially Auburn. If you look at how Auburn played defense the last minutes of the game, it was just terrible.
The last minutes of the game, they owned Florida State for most of the game.
I know
They were up
did.
21-3. They were blitzing a lot. They were moving fast.
Yep. Because Gus Malzahn's offense is so high octane, you got to look at what that offense did. You got to give credit to Auburn, especially what they did. They beat Alabama late. They beat Georgia late.
Alabama's not the same team.
And then Alabama, of course, got beat by Oklahoma.
They mail that one in or they get beat.
I thought they got beat.
Yeah?
And
I think they
then
mailed it in.
Probably mailed it in.
I think it got beat fair and square. Of course, we all know Michigan State over Stanford. Of course, that was a lot of people thought Stanford was going to win that game. Michigan State played well in that one.
Having watched the national championship game, do we think MSU could have beaten one? You tired?
Yeah, long day.
You got on the commercial breaks, all right?
Yeah, I know.
All right. Do
I
you
think
MSU?
Michigan State could have. I think Michigan State could have played with either Florida State or Auburn. I think Michigan
Beat
State.
them?
Yes,
Neutral
I actually
field?
think that they could because I think Michigan State's defense was probably the best in the country. I think Michigan State was. Their offense is very well polished. I think Michigan State could have beaten Florida State or Auburn. We thought they couldn't beat Stanford, and look what they did.
Yeah.
I thought they could
Well,
they could match well Florida State. I mean, I don't know. They could score against Auburn. I'm a little worried about that high-octane offense against that defense.
I'm not so worried about that Auburn offense because their quarterback he's been hot.
Right.
They have a solid running game, but Michigan State stops the run. Michigan State plays man press.
Right.
Are we boring you here?
No.
Huh?
No, you're boring me.
Yeah.
Anyways, you got to give credit where credit's due, though. Florida State won the national championship. The BCS is now going to go to a 14 playoff. What's a shame to me is the Rose Bowl is a high, prestigious bowl, and it's going to be part of a playoff.
It'll be a playoff game.
It's a shame. It should be. It's the granddaddy of them all. The Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all, and that it should be considered the granddaddy of them all. It should not be the. It should not be considered a small little constellation game to the BCS or a playoff game into the BCS championship game.
Well,
the Rose Bowl should be its own identity playoff bowl game.
I think that's true.
Or identity bowl
I think
game.
so too. The Rose Bowl should be their own identity game because it is the granddaddy of them all. It's the oldest living game. It clearly has its own prestige. It doesn't need to be in the semifinals.
Well, it kind of is a semifinal game because of the national championship game.
It should not be.
No,
it should be its own.
Ever since the BCS title game came out, the Rose Bowl has kind of taken a backseat, right?
But it should not be. I think the
It
Rose
has
Bowl,
been that way for a long time now.
It seems like it, but I mean, it should not be the. It should not be the. It's considered the granddaddy of them all, and it should stay the granddaddy of them all. And
it can still be the granddaddy of them all, the granddaddy of all semifinal games.
It
just doesn't. It just
it doesn't seem right.
feel that. It doesn't.
But what about '98 or whatever when the BCS came about, and the Rose Bowl took a back seat?
It came because Michigan beat Nebraska, and a lot of people felt that Nebraska should have won the BCS.
Wasn't it Washington?
Or Washington.
Must be Washington State, and then
But Nebraska.
But Nebraska beat Tennessee, so both Michigan and Nebraska shared the national championship. The BCS wanted to have 1 versus 2, but you had some flaws there. You know what I mean? Like when you look at the number 2s in the country, I questioned one year. Remember when Nebraska went into the national championship game when they got absolutely killed by Colorado, and then you got to look at other teams that some of them don't deserve to be number 2 in the country.
So what do you do to keep the Rose Bowl prestigious and still have a playoff?
You need to have like a Bulls and one parity there, and then you can have your college team football playoff.
So if you have Bulls separate from the playoffs, then the team that's playing the Rose Bowl would be less of a team than the playoffs,
I think that the team that plays in the Rose Bowl should be the team that. Excuse me. That the Rose Bowl should be the team that plays in the should not be a semifinal game.
No, it shouldn't.
It should be its own game because of the prestige.
But who would play in it?
I think it's still Big Ten versus Pac-12.
But you would have perhaps a second-place Big Ten team, right? Because hypothetically, the first-place Big Ten team would go on to play in the playoff.
Not always. That's not always going to be the case.
Not always, but you'd like to think so.
Playoff,
it's a 14 playoff, but if one team
could get 2 teams
or 3
or 3.
The SEC putting 3 teams in a 4-team playoff would be ridiculous.
It would be, but we're looking at the reality. It possibly could happen.
So then what other conference would you get your team from? You would think the Big Ten.
Possibly ACC, possibly the
Big 12,
Big
Pac-12.
Pac-12. There's a lot of other teams out there that are very, very good.
So what if you have an undefeated Big Ten team?
What if you have an undefeated mid-major?
That's different.
But still, if you look at what if you have an undefeated mid-major?
They would go to a different bowl. I don't think they belong in a 4-team playoff.
Then the BCS is already rigged and corrupt as it is.
It is.
Because
Then the
it's already
college team
bull. It's
playoff.
already bull as it is.
Well, look who's on the committee, first off.
Idiots, for starters.
Condoleezza Rice. Did you know that?
Idiots, and idiots.
She's deciding who plays in the 4-team. She's on the committee
Oh,
deciding.
she needs to be New Jack.
Oh, gee.
It's interesting. College football is very interesting.
Condoleezza Rice. On a political system, terrible.
Will we ever see a year or a time where college football has a true champion, where
No.
there's an actual bracket of 8 to 16 teams?
No.
Not right now.
Man,
Nope.
you all right?
Yeah, I'm
We
fine.
have to get you a Red Bull here during break, I think.
No,
Nope.
actually, you look at I don't think we're going to see another team that wins. That
All right.
is a true champion.
Nope, we will not see that happen because here's why. The national championship game, as long as the SEC is the main power right now, we're never going to have it the same again.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about this more. It's an interesting discussion, right? BCS, college football, big business. When we come back, though, we're going to touch on some college basketball right here on Between Taorminas. Hey. Hey, Snoop, what's up?
How you doing, my shizzle?
Oh, watch that FCC language.
You
got-
love the FCC.
I do. Federal
I thought
Communications
you were a fan
Commission.
of Kwame Kilpatrick.
I like him too.
You know he's serving 20 years.
You
He's in
know,
Milan.
didn't you see me out there with my free Kwame sign?
You want to read
I can imagine
Yeah.
you're going like this a picket line. Hey, they should put you in Milan.
Why?
Gosh,
What'd I do?
You might fit there personally.
Sit there.
You would look good in
You
Milan.
live in Milan.
You look good in stripes.
You
And
would look-
orange. You look good on
You
the
know
side of
we
the
wear
road picking up
referee
trash.
stripes.
Just kidding. All right, we're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk a game that hasn't happened since 04-05. Now that Oakland's in the Horizon League, we can kind of get into it a little bit.
Oh yes,
Wait, real quick, Oakland's record is
6-11.
6-11. When's
They-
their next game? Tonight?
It is against Wisconsin Milwaukee at home.
And
Then
do we know
Sa-
Mercy's record?
Detroit Mercy is like 10-8, or no, wait, are they 10-8? Yeah, they're 10-8.
They haven't had the schedule, Oakland.
Yeah.
No,
haven't
they
played the
haven't played the
schedule,
schedule.
Oakland,
Oakland has, but Detroit has lost to some very awful teams.
Okay.
Toledo's
Oakland-
not, but Toledo's not a very good team. They've played them twice this year. Detroit's not played the schedule Oakland has had. You look at who they've played. Oakland has played Michigan State, Gonzaga,
UNC,
UNC,
Cal.
Cal. You look at those teams. I mean, Detroit has not played. Only one team I feel they've played that's good, and that's UConn. That's it. Detroit has not played anyone. Detroit is garbage.
You know, UConn's lost twice to teams I haven't heard of. SMU, of course, coached by Larry Brown.
You haven't heard of
You
them?
haven't heard of SMU?
Well, about the Dallas Pony excess in college football, but also they lost to was it Houston that beat them. Yeah, that was the team. Those are games that UConn should not have lost. I think that's going to kill them in the RPI.
Kill them or kill Detroit?
Kill Detroit in the RPI. I mean, like you look at the AAC. The AAC is much as weaker as people think. You know, you got them, Louisville, Memphis.
You look
And
at, though,
But that's nothing compared to what Oakland's had to go through. They've had to play a Big Ten team, 2 Pac-12 teams, a West Coast Conference team, you know, and then of course you've had to play, you know, and then of course you had the
Bottom line
Horizon
here
League
is-
schedule. You know what I mean? And I think their
New
win
league.
over Valpo is much stronger than the wins Detroit has had so far.
Over Wright State?
Over Wright State. But I know even though Oakland did lose to Wright State, but I think the win over Valpo is much stronger than the one
I
against Wright
think
State.
that you look at the Horizon League this year, there is, and this is what separates them from the Summit League. There's a lot more parity in the Horizon League than there's the Summit League. Every team in the Horizon League is good. I mean, you can get a win. It's going to be very hard. There's no clear-cut favorite in the Horizon League. Everybody's good,
Yeah.
and that does include Oakland and Detroit. If you look
Right.
at, you know, I think personally that I'm glad that this Oakland and Detroit are renewing this rivalry because Detroit for years, and I have said this on the show before, Detroit is afraid to play Oakland, and their AD openly admitted that their former AD openly admitted he did not want to play Oakland
Well,
And-
why are they going to play at Callahan Hall first instead of going to the arena?
because that's what the Horizon League schedule is. And so I want to see the rivalry return, and it's going to return. And I really think Oakland's going to pull it out on the road, and I think Oakland's going to take care of business in Callahan against Detroit. Yes, I have a assistant coach who's a good friend of mine on there that coaches there at Detroit. But bottom line is, when it comes to Oakland and Detroit Detroit did not play Oakland when I was there as a manager. And I was very angry about that because Detroit could have been is a natural rival. It could have been a good rivalry there. It probably would have been some good wins there. But at the same time, Detroit could have played Oakland then. They just didn't do it. They refused to. They felt that they were, quote, Detroit's college team. No, they're not. They're a joke. UDM is a joke.
I call Oakland Michigan's northern team. Here's why. Because
Detroit's northern team?
No. Oakland,
Michigan?
Oakland is the state's northern team. Here's why. Because, Oakland, north of Detroit, they've actually, I think, have had better recruiting classes than Detroit the last few years.
Yeah, though,
I know that Detroit's had Ray McCallum, but still.
Leave that stupid Dick Vitale for crying out loud. That guy. Yeah, baby, yeah. Give me a break.
Yeah, but here's the thing I'm saying. Greg Campy has done a magnificent job
Yes,
with this
he has.
program.
And I'm proud of him
And
for
then,
it.
of course, Detroit's had to
Are you
go
just saying that
through.
because he's your uncle?
Detroit's had to go through numerous coaching changes from Perry Watson to Ray McCallum, but Detroit, they say they're back, you know what I mean? But this is, I think, a down year for Detroit because of the fact they lost a lot of pieces last year. And then you got to look at Oakland, of course. You got the top 3-point shooter in the country in Travis Bader. You got one of the best steal makers in the country in Duke Mundy. And then, of course, you got to look at Corey Petros in the middle. I mean, you look at this matchup. I think if you look at it here, the matchup inside is going to be critical. If Detroit does have some bigs, but I think you got to look at Oakland's bigs. I'm a little worried about this matchup if I'm Oakland, but if it comes to a guard-oriented matchup, advantage Oakland because of Travis Bader and because of Duke Mundy, because they can shoot threes, they can penetrate, and they can do well. I mean, this is why I'm going to go with Oakland in this game is because of Bader and Mundy, because they carried him against Valparaiso in that game, and then of course Detroit really
I
has played a
respect
brutal schedule.
Valparaiso for playing Oakland year after year after year when Oakland was in the Summit League. I have tremendous respect for Valparaiso, for the Drew family, especially Homer Drew. But with Detroit, it's hard for me to respect them because they refused to play Oakland for so long. It is for them in 2012, it was 2012, right? Yeah, to make the NCAA tournament in 2012 made me sick to my stomach, especially because I felt that Detroit did not deserve to make the Horizon League to make the NCAA tournament. I have very strong sentiments towards Detroit, especially because that they refused to play Oakland, that they call themselves that they're more superior than Oakland.
No, they're not.
They made fun of Oakland going to the NCAA tournament. They felt that Oakland didn't deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. Detroit should be ashamed of themselves. UDM, for that fan base, the Callahan fan base, I think that UDM is a joke.
Valentine's Day, Detroit comes
I
to
think that
Rochester.
UDM will lose this game handily by 30.
By 30.
I want Oakland to kill Detroit by 30.
30.
Maybe more.
I'm going to say Oakland by 15 in that game. I'm going to say Oakland by 15 because I think I look at they're not going to stop Bader. They won't stop Mundy. And, of course, Tommy McCune starting to improve as a better player. And then, Detroit, of course, I don't like their guards matchup with Oakland, but also if Oakland turns this into a high-scoring fest, they're the number one scoring team in the Horizon League.
Yes, they are.
Right now, but I just think I like their chances in this game by 15. And then I think, and don't quote me here on this, but I think Oakland and Detroit are going to play in the first round of the Horizon League tournament. And that game will be in Rochester.
I can see Oakland beating Detroit 3 times. I really do. I really do. I think Oakland can beat Detroit 3 times.
Wow. 3 times.
You have a problem with that, Ian?
I love UDM. Kidding. Easy. Easy.
You know that if you're a Michigan fan, you know what I mean. You gotta love 2007
Why?
because that was the year they lost to somebody very important.
Who?
Appalachian State.
What does that have to do with
What is
anything we're
this
talking
conversation?
Because Michigan lost to Oakland.
They did in 2000, yes.
So basically, you look at it there. Oakland, I think, they're going to come back. They're going to do some damage, you know?
Oakland wins on Saturday. Oakland wins on Valentine's Day. If Oakland and Detroit play in the Horizon League tournament, Oakland wins too. Oakland will win. Mark my words. Oakland wins Saturday.
Any way we can get you in the locker room to fire up the troops before the game?
I think Coach Greg Campy's going to motivate them well in advance.
Do they feel disrespected?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to get a repairman on this table, and we'll do some call-outs. Hey, welcome back to Between Taorminas right here on Orion Neighborhood Television. Guys,
More
real
Dan
quick,
Miller.
shut up. Real quick. Al Borges was fired today by Michigan.
He just got fired?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Why do wouldn't you want him around?
Obviously, well, let's be honest with, Michigan's offense was terrible this year.
Putrid.
And he deserved to get fired. Brady Hoke needed to make some moves. I said it last week that when we talked about Brady, he's not to blame for what happened in Michigan, but Al Borges certainly is. When he's made some changes, this is the first positive change for Michigan.
I think Brady needs to go.
No.
I don't think he's a head coach. Not in Michigan.
I think that
Not in Michigan.
Give him a chance. Give him more chance.
We'll see. Wouldn't you want Brady or Al Borges around?
Yeah, because he got
Because he
Michigan State killed.
sucks.
Yeah.
So
I
what are you
would.
happy about? You should be crying.
But then again, you know what? The next offensive coordinator is going to get killed
By Sparty.
by Sparty.
All right. All right.
All right.
Here, you want to call somebody out?
Well, I'm going to first focus on, obviously we were talking about Oakland and Detroit. I want to talk about, my first call out involves the Horizon League, a policy of, as usual, Oakland's band is typically seated by the visitors band. The Horizon League, why? Simple. Look, I know that there's a policy out there that forces the band to not be allowed to sit by the visitors bench. Valpo had to go through it back when they first entered it. I think it's such a stupid rule.
Where are you going?
Go back to my Horizon League call out, please. Thank you. Anyways, the Horizon League, you got to look at reverting your policies and rechanging your policies, because if you look at having the marching band right by a visitor's stand, it's good to have them there because it does play with the road team's minds a little bit. There doesn't need to be a policy where you force the band to move to the home side bench. It's just ridiculous. It's just a stupid rule, and that it needs to be rescinded. The Horizon League, I definitely would encourage you to reconsider your policies and definitely reconsider looking at some of the rules that you have for this league. I love that Oakland is there in the league. I mean, you guys let the arena rule that you have, recited that for Oakland for the arena. So it's good that you have allowed Oakland to play games at its home field, but at the same time with the band, keep the band there. I mean, I'm glad you're keeping the Grizz gang there, but move the band back to where they originally are. And also with Valpo, do the same with Valpo. Move their band back to where they used to be before they entered the Horizon League. My next call out involves a situation where I have encouraged, and we've talked about this the first part of the show, where it's time for the kids to go back to school. It's time for the kids to make up for lost times. The rebellious LO kids, led by Mr. Josh Bays. Why? Simple.
Who's that?
On Twitter recently, Mr. Bays posted a tweet stating that if we have school today, Wednesday, that they would blame me for it. Bottom line is,
Oops.
Can we go back to mine, Mitch, please? Thanks. Anyways, we've got, anyways. You know, at the same time he posted getting rid of the, you blaming me for you guys getting back to school. You guys had the school day off today. You know, but anyways, it's time to make up for lost time. It's time to go back to school, get an education, learn, and I understand the weather. The weather's been hectic, but it's time to make up for lost time. Don't need to be posting tweets you don't need to be posting tweets saying that if we have school tomorrow, we're gonna blame me or someone like that. You just don't do that. You just go online. You just go and you just go back to school with a smile on your face, and also be proud. And then when you graduate in June, just smile then and celebrate.
Wow.
Is he related to Chad Bays?
No, that's Josh Bays, not Chad
Wow.
Bays.
Wow. All right. Well, my first call out here, I'm going to call an athletic director who I've been very disappointed with one rule. I'm going to call out as Tracy Huth. Tracy Huth, why? Let's look at it here. You released a new rule, was it 2 years ago? Saying that
After I left.
after Mr. Anthony left, saying that this man right here, if I can see it, hello? Oh, well. Coach Greg Campy said, not to wear his traditional sweater vest. Where's the sweater vest? Why is he wearing a shirt and tie? That's terrible for him. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up. It's not his character. It's not his nature. Bring back the sweater vest, Tracy Hoot. Bring it back.
You're telling Tracy to bring back the sweater vest?
Force Greg Campy to wear the sweater vest.
Force Coach Campy to wear the sweater vest?
Yes.
Why?
Because the sweater vest
I love
is
that he's
his-
wearing the sweater vest.
The sweater vest is his MO.
I
It's
know, I
not the
agree
shirt
with you
and
that.
tie.
I agree with you that it separates him from everybody else, just like Bob Huggins at West Virginia.
Like Jim Tressel.
Yeah.
Jim Tressel. Yeah. And
There
then,
he
Look,
is.
there's Coach Campy right
Just
there.
basically bring this look back. This look looks good on him. You see?
Oh, you
Bring
wear a
this
sweater
back.
vest.
Bring it back, Tracy Hoot. Bring it back. Okay, and then my last call out is I got two guys. One of them's got an alter ego. I'm gonna call out is the Blue Meanie. The Blue Meanie and his alter ego, Bob Dowd. What? Let's look at this here. What is this having connection? The Blue Meanie. The Blue
Is
Meanie.
that the principal from Billy Madison?
No.
Oh.
The Blue Meanie. I can just imagine Bob Dowd going like this. Isn't that a good thing?
All right.
You know, isn't that evil? That's a good thing for him. You know, I think that would be perfect.
Is that what he does in the summertime?
Is that Ian Weatherspoon?
No.
But you know what,
It
Bob
looks like
Dowd?
you.
But you know what, Bob Dowd? You know what? Let's look at this here this way. You didn't come on our show last year. I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed, very upset, very frustrated. You know, I hope you now know that you have a secret side of your heart inside for your alter ego, the Blue Meanie.
Can I ask you something, Sammy?
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are you?
I am a winner, and we know and we know deep down Bob Dowd goes like this at times.
Do you think we can get Bob Dowd, a.k.a. the Blue Meanie, on the wrestling program they do here? Do you think they could do that?
WO?
Yeah.
Let's see.
What about Bob comes on our show?
Maybe he'd accept that invitation, not ours.
Now that Sammy's been provoking him again.
We'll see. Cat's out of the bag. All right. Well, it's all embrace here. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time right here between Taorminas, ONTV.